Hello and welcome to episode 18 of Note This Only Trash Here podcast. The date today is the 30th of June 2013. So, I have two guests this week. The first one, it's, you know him, it's MrMuckluckable joining me once again.
Hello.
And also, it's regular guest. I guess I can upgrade you now to regular guest because it's the first time you've been on, or third. It's ProtoMario.
Yep, it's me again, guys.
So how does it feel to be outnumbered by Brits?
What do you mean?
Well, there's two British guys, and you're American.
Oh, hey, how does it feel to get your asses rescued in World War II?
Well, we didn't get invaded, technically.
You just wait until World War III.
That's alright. It's okay.
You saved France. We let France go. We were like, you know what? We didn't lose much.
That's okay.
That's no offense to any French people listening. But I am offending your grandparents, so screw them.
No, it is. I will offend them. I'll offend them.
Happily.
I don't care.
Well, this is an all-loving podcast. We just love all. Everyone's welcome. Get those numbers up.
Yeah, it really does. You know what? I'm just so racist. Come hate on me.
Cool.
Come leave hateful comments. Because at the end of the day, in order to leave a comment, you still have to click on the video, and that gives him a view. So go ahead.
I respect your honesty.
Even dislikes help the video, so you know what, do what you want, but don't dislike it.
See, I don't want to be, Panicky Pete, but the word racist should not come up in the first 2 minutes of a gaming podcast.
Well, my grandfather is a Nazi defector, so...
Yeah, the last time you were on, we talked about the Nazis as well.
Yeah.
I see a pattern emerging.
Every time. But Gameovision isn't sponsored by Nazis, so it's fine.
It's true. It's true. We are not.
We just mention them every video we do together.
We're contractually obligated to mention them.
It's going to get you too, Joe. You're just going to start mentioning the Nazis and you won't know why.
Oh, when will this happen?
Slowly, but surely.
I won't even notice it, will I?
Another couple of episodes. Yeah, you just bring out casually, like... Oh, I can't believe I died. It's like...
Nazis and Jews.
Yeah, I was trying to think of something that wasn't going to be offensive to use an example.
Hey, guys, how many Jews fit into a car? I
We
don't
don't
know.
need
How big's the ashtray?
God's sake. Tolerance.
Alright, bro, alright.
So, gaming.
Gaming, okay, yeah, so... Alright, well, actually we're going to talk about something that's a bit... well, it's related to gaming, but it's not quite gaming. As we're all people who make YouTube videos and Let's Players, I think it's our obligation to talk about something that happened that's pretty big. Or very odd, anyway. So, I know you know about this, Proto, but... Joe, have you heard about what happened to Game Grumps in the last week?
Yeah.
Well, you know what the show is, right? It's Ego Raptor and JonTron get together, play some games, and have some laughs, right?
Yeah.
Well, they uploaded a video, and JonTron said, I'm going to leave Game Grumps and not be in any more of the videos to do my own channel. And then they introduce a guy called Danny, and now in every episode of Game Grumps, instead of JonTron and Ego, it's Danny and Ego. And they redid the intro and it replaced JonTron's little cartoon face with Danny's. And it was completely out of the blue. Because the reason why I bring this up is because it's not really a case of whether you like Game Grumps or not. It's the reason why I want to bring it up and talk about it is because, do YouTubers owe their subscribers some sort of... to not just completely rework their show in the way they did this week?
I assume they get paid.
Well, yeah, they got adverts on the video, so they do, both Ego Raptor and JonTron do, rely on the revenue they get. They do live on it.
They make an assload of money, so if anyone out there thinks they're struggling, you're a moron.
Well, they have 1 million subscribers, and they make 10-minute videos.
They make a lot of money.
Like if you're a Let's Play that makes half-an-hour videos, then they're going to make that same money on their 10-minute videos each.
I'm gonna just say it like this. Most people don't know this, and I can't divulge the exact details of my contract or anyone else's.
Sure.
But just assume let's just say people get paid, let's say $2 per view. Let's be on the up and up and say $4. Let's say they got a really good deal or something, you know?
Sure.
So for every 1,000 views, they get $4. If they have a video that has 100,000 views, they get roughly a good chunk of money. Okay? 400. I said roughly if they get, 400,000 views on one video, and they get $4 per 1,000 views, that's roughly $100. You know.
Well, they're the most. There's a lot of YouTubers that live on the money they make, and they're big. Game Grumps have 1 million subscribers, so
they make hundreds of dollars per video.
They make a nice amount of change. So, but the thing is that I am a fan of them. Okay, it's kind of dumb and immature, but in a kind of stupid you watch it for 10 minutes, have some jokes, whatever. I do enjoy it, but it's just the one thing I don't like about them is that there seems to be the good thing about YouTube is that you can have a connection with your subscribers. You could be like, this is what I'm doing, or this is what's going to happen, or things like that. But both JonTron and Egoraptor don't seem to care about that thing. If you subscribe to Egoraptor, he barely uploads, JonTron barely uploads, Game Grumps uploads consistently, but they're just them playing video games, so a 10-minute video is literally a 10-minute video and they don't edit it. So if maybe they put some they didn't seem to put enough effort into making this transition to completely rework the show, because now it's a completely different show, and all the 1 million people that subscribed for that one show that they liked are now gonna just have to put up with a different show with no that just came out of the blue.
Is there go on.
It seems kind of like BS, really.
Is there a reason why he left?
He made a video saying that because during Game Grumps, because it was a year that they started it, he stopped uploading JonTron pretty much. I think he made 2 videos, if that, and he used to make one a month. So he says that he's going to drop doing Game Grumps so he can focus on JonTron. But I don't really buy it at all, because I watch all their videos, so they explicitly say that they record on Mondays, and then they pay a guy called Barry to edit them, and they make 2 10-minute videos a day, so pretty much they can do a whole week on that day in I don't know, I figured out, it's something like 5 hours. They can comfortably do those videos. So because he lives on the revenue, the question is, what is he doing the other 4 days of the main week that he can't make new videos and keep uploading to JonTron?
I love that there's a guy called Barry.
Yeah, it's Egoraptor, JonTron, Barry.
It sounds like a little bit of the problem that would seem I'm just too frickin' lazy. I make hundreds of, maybe even thousands of dollars every frickin' month. But you know what? I'm just too lazy. What would you do? What would you frickin' do, Tom, if all you had to do was make videos? Would you make fucking videos, or would you fuck off all week? Seriously. What would you do?
Well, I'm a fan. You're definitely not a fan, and that's fair enough. I am a fan, and I agree. It's because they make revenue off their older videos, it seems like they're not that motivated to do it. It's because with Game Grumps, it's just an easy... they've got the setup, they have their personalities that people like it, they can do it. But then they keep using excuses like the other videos they make, it's a creative thing. Whenever they talk about it, it's I'm just not in the creative mood. Yeah. But it's just... There's something about certain... once YouTubers get to the top, they either really appreciate it and make a lot of videos, even if I don't like every YouTuber, there's the ones that put in a lot of effort. But then there's the ones that get to the top and they just back down because they're at the top. They don't need to keep trying to push their videos. They don't need to keep trying to make them better and better. They just got to make them, or they don't really have to make them. So, as much as I like their videos, I think they just got to... This is laziness, and it's the fans that get screwed over, because now we're stuck with Game Grumps, but it's not anymore. And honestly, it's not terrible, but it's not the same show.
Surely that they're going to lose... The way they're going to tell that it was a bad move was that they're going to lose viewers, aren't they?
Well, have you ever seen the comment section of the Game Grumps videos?
No, he probably hasn't.
Do I? What's wrong?
It's
What?
a battlefield. It's just all these people just making these over-the-top statements, just accusing each other of things, just absolute fanboyism. They can't be in the middle. They have to go one way or the other. So you can imagine when this happened, all the commenters, some people saying, "What the hell? Why did they do this? Why is John gone?" And then there was the other people saying, "Leave Danny alone. He's actually, give him a chance. It's only," and it was just a mess. So at the end of the day, when you have 1 million, subscribers, and they have a year of videos anyway, so they might take some hits from a few people, but I'll be honest, I'm still subscribed because I want to see where this goes. I just want to see if they keep messing it up.
There's going to be some people who are going to stay loyal, but the point is, okay, if you subscribe for JonTron and Egoraptor, whether or not I'm a hater doesn't matter. You enjoy them. Okay, I understand that. But taking a piece of that away would mean you alter the art form. Okay, so now it's no longer Egoraptor and JonTron. So why should you give another person a chance? Because literally the show is different. That'd be like saying, "Oh, hey man, I know you love the original season of your show, but don't worry about it. We took half the characters out and replaced them with completely new people. It'll probably be the same thing. They're probably the same actors. They probably do the same exact thing. They act the same way." It's not gonna. That doesn't work. It doesn't work that way.
It's just, there's also just the dishonesty of it. If there was some sort of behind the scenes, because why have the Facebook and Twitter page if you're not going to post updates, like important updates, like, okay, I'm trying to do this and all that kind of stuff. You can't just post one video. Because also, right, Joe, you don't know this as well. They used to upload 2 episodes of Game Grumps, Egoraptor, JonTron. Now they upload 1 episode of Game Grumps, Egoraptor and Danny, but they started a new show on the exact same day JonTron left called Steam Train, which is Danny and this other guy, Ross, playing games. So there's 1 episode of that, and 1 episode of the new Game Grumps with Danny uploaded.
Yeah,
right.
That's the new schedule. That's what
they're really
changed.
pushing Danny.
They love the guy, I guess. Apparently he's a hero among men. He's like, it used to be Egoraptor and JonTron, now it's Danny and the other 2. It's
Well,
just,
I don't care either way.
I don't know. It's just like they kind of, in a way, it's because the thing is, it's not about if Danny's funny or not. It's about kind of, because YouTube, it's a more personal kind of thing. With TV, you just watch the TV show and you can post a blog if you don't like the episode or what, but you don't have any real connection with the people making it. But with YouTube, it's not. So I really don't like the way certain YouTubers make it too corporate, the whole process of them having videos and people enjoying them, because that's not what YouTube's about.
but how much do you think that's them, and how much do you think that's actually YouTube making them like that?
Well, what do you mean?
I'm not partnered or anything like that.
Okay.
Actually, I am, but not with a network or anything. But it seems like when you do that, get partnered,
Okay.
there are lots of kind of things that they say, like, oh, you should do it this, and you should have thumbnails like that, and you should... It does seem like to be more corporate-like. I don't know if that's actually the case, if they push that, but it could be an option.
I think the companies can only really push around the, say, people who are at a lot lower subscriber level than Game Grumps. Like, once you're at 1 million subscribers, they have complete control of their show, which is why obviously they were able to replace the people. Because of course, I'm sure whoever they're partnered with would be like, no, don't do that. That's really stupid. People won't like it because you're just spitting on what the show used to be. So it's just kind of, I'm stop watching it at this point. I don't want to watch that stuff anymore.
Yeah, I gave him a chance. I watched the first 2 minutes of an episode, and I counted up 10 very basic junior high school jokes. There was a fart joke, a loud piercing sound that hurt my ears, another scream, weird and inaudible noise, screaming joke, a penis joke, and this was all just in 2 minutes, and they were just introducing each other. So after that, I couldn't take it. I tried giving y'all a chance. I tried.
Well, it's the thing. If they don't owe me proper explanation and behind the scenes thing on major things like this, then I don't owe them loyalty in terms of, oh, it's going to get better, it's just got to give it time for the new people. It's like, no, I don't owe them that, because apparently they don't owe me any sort of subscriber, appreciation.
Yep.
But, there's going to be all those fans who just watch it anyway and will justify it, but you can't, because they eventually will like it and don't care. But, it's just sad that as a YouTuber, that any other YouTuber could just, do something like this and just pretend like nothing ever happened. But I think we're going to move away from that, because it is a gaming podcast after all, but we should probably talk about some gaming stuff. So, as always, take it away, Cal's Crazy.
Gaming news.
Yeah, I just played the gaming news thing. Sorry.
Yeah, I was confused there as well for a second.
Well, that's the guy. He did it. He did the gaming news thing. It's famous.
I know.
The guy.
I remember.
Okay, so the first news thing we're going to talk about is about the Xbox 360 overtaking the Wii. Now, I don't have the exact figures here, but of course, during this generation, the Wii has been the best-selling console overall. When you look at the figures, the 360 and PS3 are around 70 million each, and then the Wii's almost at 100 million, probably is at this point. But in the UK, specifically, the Xbox 360 has now outsold the Wii. Now, of course, most people living outside the UK won't care. But what this means is that, because the Wii was the most successful console, but time has now completely caught up with the Wii. So now we're getting this situation where, because the Wii, they stopped supporting it, the games kind of stopped coming, all the big IPs got done, they moved to the Wii U, but the 360 and the PS3 still has tons of games. So I think at the end of the day, because the Wii was considered a success because it was the best-selling console. But if that doesn't happen, then, what is really left with the Wii, apart from, a few decent Nintendo games?
Yeah, I've probably played less than 50 games on the Wii in my entire life. There are just so many more games for the other consoles. Sorry. I really am. But the Xbox 360 doesn't have a gimmick. It's just a controller. You don't have to have the Kinect. It doesn't have to incorporate motion control, which most Nintendo IPs incorporate in some way, shape, or form, even if it's just small with turning the controller. You don't have to do that with the Xbox 360. You don't have to do that with the PS3 for the most part. I'm just going to leave it at that. So, why wouldn't you get a 360? It's cheap. It's easy to afford. You don't even have to keep it online either. You don't have to. So it has games like Call of Duty. It's got a network where you can get in with your friends. Why wouldn't you get a PS3 or an Xbox 360 over a Wii, since the Wii is just a big gimmick? If you're not into motion controls, obviously it'd be a big downside to you.
Well, I wouldn't say the Wii is just a big gimmick, but if you just look at terms of what each console has, the Wii has the major Nintendo games, the Virtual Console, and you can play GameCube games, which is great. But then you look at the 360, and you have all the third-party games, you have 8 years or 7-8 years of consistent, new games coming out from both Microsoft and third-party. You have Xbox Live, which is both online gaming and also the arcade. You have all the extra features like Netflix, and it's just, I got a lot of use out of my Wii. I think it's a great console, but in terms of when you compare the two, because the Wii wasn't able to keep up, it's just so nowhere near what the Xbox 360 is. And, I guess it's, this is obviously now being shown with these sales figures, because 360 is probably going to overtake the Wii in many other territories after the UK.
Yeah, I completely agree. I'm sorry. I like Nintendo a lot. I like the games on it. I love Metroid Prime. I love Metroid Prime 2. I like Mario Brothers. I like Metroid Other... Whoa!
No,
whoa!
Hey,
You... Stop that.
Almost got you.
Almost. Oh,
One day.
No. No, God, no. No.
Terrible.
No.
Terrible.
No. But yeah, look, man, if you want to play some Donkey Kong Country, pull out the Wii. That's cool. But honestly...
Or 3DS now at this point.
Right? But Okay, I want to play some Doom. Oh, let me pull out my... Oh, that's right. It's not on the Wii. Okay, I want to play some L.A. Noire. Oh, it's not on the Wii. Okay, how about Grand Theft Auto? Nope, not on the Wii. Come on, man.
It was pretty much Super Mario Galaxy 2 came out, and it was done.
Yeah, it was like...
No, Skyward Sword, I guess.
Yeah, we got... But come on, man. After Super Mario Galaxy 2, it's like, oh, hey, we got one more game. That's it.
It's on the way. Don't forget to pick it up.
Don't worry, these 8 months might be long, but don't worry.
But no, because it's just interesting when you look at it as well, because the 360 should be the biggest console across the world. It's just Japan that stops them from being that. Like, the 360 is now the best-selling console in UK and probably in a lot of European territories. It's easily the best. I think it's the best-selling one in America. But because only the Wii and PS3 sold in Japan, that's the only reason the Wii has the lead over all the other consoles. So that's it. So it's just a shame that, of course, if the PS3 was the biggest console and actually sold more than the 360 in the other countries, that would be the best-selling console by far. But it's just a case of the Japanese only play Japanese consoles.
Yeah, the Japanese are crazy. Better watch them, guys.
Let's not go back to that racism topic again.
Oh,
let's keep it nice.
Man.
Let's keep it civil.
I want to commit me some senkai. Oh, wait, hang on. Senpai. There we go. Yeah.
Oh dear. But yeah, so that, it's just worth bringing up that story because slow news week. And also, it's just interesting. It's been such a weird generation in terms of sales and, rating success. Because, of course, with the PS2, that was the winner by far, quite easily. It took out Sega, it outsold the Xbox and GameCube combined by like 3 times. It was the clear winner. The DS, the DS clearly beat the PSP in terms of sales and software, but when you look at this generation, it's a bit all over the place. But at the end of the day, the 360 and PS3, they're just better than the Wii. They just kind of are as consoles. Right, so let's move on to the next topic, which is the talks of the Metal Gear Solid remake. Now, Kojima is going around and asking developers or trying to figure out outside developer to make Metal Gear Solid. Now, the reason he's doing this, I assume, is because they just made the Fox engine, which is their big, impressive engine, which they're using to run Metal Gear Solid 5. So now he wants to get someone to port it over, or port the original Metal Gear Solid onto the Fox engine. Now, the only reason why it's noteworthy is because they already remade it.
Yeah.
Anyone who had a GameCube, one of the best games on that console was the Twin Snakes.
Yes.
Which was a complete graphical overhaul. They redid all the cutscenes, the music, the controls. So, have they ever remade a remake before? Because that's what this is going to be.
Nintendo's done that over and over again, so that's not a surprise. They probably got the idea from Nintendo. But seriously, why? Why would you do this? Why wouldn't you remake the original, which I understand he had nothing to do with, so why not remake it and have something to do with it?
Well, the original would make sense, Metal Gear on the NES, because the Phantom Pain is going to connect the timeline up. Joe, I know you probably don't know anything about this.
This is whizzing straight over my head, it's fine.
Yeah, because it's really weird, because it goes... The timeline is Metal Gear 2, Metal Gear Solid 2, Metal Gear Solid 4, and then the prequels that took place in the Cold War is Metal Gear Solid 3, Portable Ops, Peace Walker, and then Ground Zeroes, and then Ground Zeroes connects back to Metal Gear.
Don't forget the Revenge of Snake on Game Boy.
Oh, I tried to.
You missed it.
I don't know anything about this series.
To add to it, guys, I really don't understand the age we live in where people are consistently remaking good things. I don't understand if it's just to catch money, but I would understand if it's 20 years old. I can understand that. I can buy that, okay? I get it, no problem. But this is, the remake was made in 2004. It's been less than 10 years. Just like with Halo CE. Halo CE didn't get a huge amount of sales because it remade Halo CE. So Halo CE A, anniversary, and it didn't see a huge sales. They didn't even sell it at a full price game either. So it was like, why? Why would you waste your time doing that?
Well, I do really enjoy remakes because, or proper remakes, not ports, they don't count, but a proper remake where they actually go back and redo it all, because you then have the two separate games by themselves. You have the original, the classic, but then you have the newer one, which, doesn't have that classic nostalgic feel, but it's better to play, so that's the one you kind of go for. And that's what they kind of did with the Twin Snakes, but it seems like they could just... There's no need to remake the whole game again, just because you didn't want to port... I think it might just come down to Nintendo published or was involved with the Twin Snakes, so they don't own the rights to it, so Kojima probably wants to remake it himself to, include that game, because the Twin Snakes wasn't part of the HD collection, and I don't think it was part of that big, what was it called? That thing in Japan where they had all the games in that one big, edition? One...
Yeah, I know. I don't have it right off the top of my head, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, they had all the games in there apart from Twin Snakes, so they had to put in the original Metal Gear Solid. So that might be one explanation for it, but again, it doesn't warrant a remake because the game came out in 1998. It's like if they were thinking about remaking Ocarina of Time for the second time already at this point.
Oh, you're not counting the re-releases? Because it's been re-released, I don't know, 7 times?
Quite a few times. But
So
no, I wouldn't... No, they're just like ports, because with this one, this is actually another proper remake, because they want to put it in the Fox engine, so...
I know. I'm just ragging on Ocarina of Time, because that's the most ridiculous re-release game ever.
Well, I think Sonic the Hedgehog 1 has it beat.
Well, that's true, but I can't really say much about that.
It's Sega. They love re-releasing games.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Any company
Yes,
that
yes,
re-releases
they do.
like Sonic Spinball more than 5 times.
Alright, okay, alright. I'm not a Sega fanboy, but yeah, you're right.
It's no, I mean, it's kind of cool. It's not the point. The point is just, it's really weird, and I think it's going to be great to play. Like, in terms of a gamer, it's like, it'll be cool to see that game with all the next-gen graphics, adding a ton of stuff, but it's just bizarre.
I'd rather have them remake a different one.
Just the original Metal Gear. Sure.
Exactly, any frickin' one. Remake the Sons of Liberty, dude. I know it's a later release game, but it was one of the launch titles on PS2, which means they didn't utilize the full PS2's engine and capabilities. So if you remade that one, cut out some of the dialogue, and made it more interactive, that would be a great game to see with updated graphics. But because the original Metal Gear Solid was already remade, it's kind of like, oh, okay, I get to see it even prettier. Great, that's wonderful. I don't care.
Well, it doesn't really make sense chronologically as well, because of course Metal Gear has a really messed up timeline, but it doesn't make sense they would remake that one with the direction they're going in, because they're doing Big Boss, so it doesn't make sense to return back to the original Snake, or Snake's first game, if you know what I mean. It's like there's the logic in doing it in that order and remaking that one seems to be a bit twisted. Like, it would make sense if they did 3, but then again, 3 came out 2005, I believe. So, that's kind of a bit too soon. But, yeah, you just kind of leave it alone. But again, I do want to see it, but, yeah, just leave it alone.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so let's get on to the last topic, which is about the PS4. So, Joe, you might have some opinions on this one.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
Yeah, because... Yeah, right, so pretty much the thing is that Sony announced that they're going... Well, currently they have 30 PS4 games in the works. Now,
Oh boy.
20 of these are exclusives from the PS4 that are going to get released in the first year, and 12 of these are going to be new IPs. Now, of course, that sounds great, but when you also remember, Microsoft a few months ago announced that they have 15 exclusives to get released on the Xbox One, and I think 8 of those were going to be new IPs.
Yeah.
Now, the thing is, the reason why this is cool is because at E3, at the time Sony won, but, in retrospect and looking back on it, I think it's fair enough to say that Microsoft won E3 in terms of the conferences, because the PS4 and Sony, Microsoft just showed more games. If you like the games or not, it's kind of irrelevant. They just showed a lot more, tons of stuff for the Xbox One, and gaming was the big focus. So they won that small battle in the war they're losing. But it's kind of good because I want to get a PS4, so I'm pretty happy that this is the way they're going, that they're going to have 20 in the first year. But, I'm kind of curious about what they are, and I'm glad the PS4 is going to trump the Xbox One in terms of exclusives.
Well, that was the only thing that separated them, like you said, at the thing, was the games. Have they said anything about what games? Or just that?
Well, no, that's the thing, because the Xbox One, if you look at it, you can pick out already, I think, most of the exclusives they're talking about. Or maybe not all 15, but most of them.
I don't want to interject or interrupt, but quoted, only 20 of them will ship within the first year.
Yeah.
12 are new. So, those are the numbers.
Absolutely, and then Xbox One is 15 and 8 are new. But here's the thing, I'm kind of a bit cautious about this with the PS4, because so far there's been, I think it was Knack, Infamous, Killzone, and then like 2 others. But then again, they also were showing off all those indie games. So the question is, how much of this list have they padded with all those exclusive indie games that they brought over for the PS4?
Tom.
I'm just saying.
Tom.
Yeah?
Now you're starting to think like I am.
That's the thing, because we don't know. You would think if they had more games to release and that were going to get released in the first year, we would have saw more of them at E3.
This will never happen because we can't time travel.
Oh,
yet.
Come on.
Well, okay, hang on.
Don't doubt yourself.
Let me get the Chrono Gate out, and we'll go defeat Lavos real quick. And
save Hitler.
Anyways.
What?
Anyway, what?
Nothing. You saying?
Okay, anyways. my point being is 2 things, okay? Number 1, I would love to have seen if Sony would have actually released 30 new games, or if they would have just released whatever, if Xbox hadn't even said that they were going to do that. And then number 2, if you throw fists full of money at companies and tell them to make you a game, they'll make you a fucking game. It doesn't necessarily mean that they are going to be the 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 8 out of 10s. Okay, Sony has had games on it that are like 3 to 5 out of 10s. They're not really that great. Sure, they made Journey and stuff like that, but really you can tell a big difference between the games that are being produced for both consoles, and generally speaking, when you throw more money at different companies, you get a better result. So it's to be seen if these games are actually going to be good.
Well, that's what I thought with the Xbox One's exclusives, though. I mean, I know a lot of these games, I'm not going to be like, oh, all 20 are wonderful. I know that's not going to happen, but it'd be awesome.
Oh, man, these games are so good!
Oh, so good! It's all just 20... It's 20 Crash games. They just made 20
Sonic
more.
06 remade, I love it!
Oh, in the Fox engine. The Miles Prower engine.
Yeah, Sonic turns into a fox, and the series is forever cursed.
Oh
God,
that would not be good. But no, it's like, because I had that with Xbox One. Like, they announced that they were going to have these exclusives, but I didn't see any I was really interested in. Like, Rise looked terrible.
Yeah, it did.
So I think it was, like with the 360, they had all the exclusives at the time, but, only some of them stuck, like Halo, Gears of War, Fable, I guess. But, so I think it's going to be a similar case, but again, with the PS4, we're just in the dark at the moment. So I'm sure a lot of them are going to be terrible, but we just don't know.
I'm gonna say it like this, and it happens with every generation. There's going to be the franchises that people are going to buy no matter what. So even if there are new IPs, even if they're wonderful, even if every freaking game on both the systems are 10 out of 10s, people are going to buy each console for the individual games that they like to play. I mean, a person out there could only want to play Call of Duty. That's a very viable option, whereas Microsoft has Halo and Sony has Killzone. Both games are amazing. I love them both. But if the person wants to play COD, then which system does he buy? So it doesn't matter if both of them have IPs that are new or the same and are released within the first year. It's just a coin toss for that person. So it really doesn't matter unless you're on one side or the other.
See, I would like to argue against about how important exclusives are, but they're crucial, or the killer apps, because you can see this happening right now. Like, the PS Vita, right? The 3DS just has killer apps. It has the big Nintendo franchises, they're releasing them at a good rate. You got Fire Emblem, Mario, Animal Crossing, big games, Mario Kart, and it's winning. The PS Vita has a ton of games on it, but no killer app, and it's doing terribly. So really, at the end of the day, there's a ton of good games on it from what I've heard. You look at the reviews, people with one are happy, but nobody's going out and buying a PS Vita because there's not that one big game. There's no Super Mario 3D Land. There's none of that. So people are going 3DS. So it really is, gaming is still in that place. People complain at companies for doing exclusives, but we have evidence in the handheld market that exclusives is what's going to dictate this, and it's why both companies are pushing so far for so much with these exclusive content, and making these new IPs, because they know that people are going to go to the shop, they're going to see that one game they're interested in and looks awesome, and that's the console they're buying.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we're just going to have to wait until we see more exclusives, but also it means that at launch, I think we've pretty much seen all the launch PS4 games, it's the new Killzone, new Infamous, Knack, and I think a couple of... and then
I can't.
and then it's all the multi-platform stuff, all the Ubisoft and stuff. And then the Xbox One, it's, Dead Rising 3?
Yeah.
Rise. Oh...
Forza Unlimited.
Yeah, Forza, that's a big one.
What's the giant robot one?
Titanfall? Is that what you
Titanfall.
What is that one on?
That's Xbox One, but that's not coming out till 2014.
Oh, okay.
Most of the games were coming out 2014.
I'm gonna just say this, man. To anyone out there who questions why I buy what I buy, I don't care about exclusives. I don't care about IPs. I care about a few things. I care mainly that it has good games. It doesn't need to have exclusives as long as it has really good third-party support. There's no reason for me to go out and buy an Atari Jaguar because it has Tempest on it. There's no reason for me to go out and buy a 3DO because it has a good port of Doom. That's just basically what you're saying. So as long as it has good games on it that are entertaining, I'm going to purchase it. I might not be like everyone else, but that's just me. And then, of course, the appeal of the system's features. If it makes me pay $5,000 to stay online, that's not going to work. But, in a realistic world, some people will do that stuff.
Because, there are a ton of people still going Xbox One, but when I break it down, it's like, okay, the PS4 is cheaper. The Xbox One, it costs 80 quid more in the UK. What am I getting for that extra 80 quid? Because most of the games I'm interested in are multi-platform.
Value.
Yeah, well, I don't believe so.
I'm making fun of it.
Oh, thank God.
Because that's what they keep saying.
I can't justify that 80 quid, because sure, there's some exclusives, I'm sure Next Gen Halo is going to be awesome. I'm sure Titanfall is an exclusive on Xbox, although it's coming on 360, I believe, but... yeah, they're the exclusives, but I know PS4 are going to have good exclusives, and it's cheaper. I just can't justify that 80 quid jump for a console that, sure, they removed the DRM, but that's the only thing I like more about the Xbox is the controller.
Yeah.
And then again, I can kind of get over that for 80 quid, and that's it. That's what it comes down to for me personally.
I'm going to buy an Xbox One. Unless the PS4 can sway me. The only game I see myself playing on the PS4 is Killzone.
Oh, Killzone, sure.
Oh, no, you're right, Knack.
Yeah.
Probably. I mean, you know me. I'm just, you know.
It's depressing.
But seriously, and I don't really like Killzone that much. It's an outstanding game, but it has things in it that I don't like. So, whatever.
Wait, so what game are you buying the Xbox One for then?
Just Halo. If dumb stuff doesn't happen,
Sure.
You know what I mean.
Oh yeah, I played Halo 4. I know what you mean.
Know what I mean. But also for the simple fact that, I have a gamer tag, and the PS4 has this thing that they're trying to do with the Facebook, and they're trying to make it so that you're an actual person, and you update to Facebook, and they have the share button, and as a YouTube recorder, and a game commentator, and a game reviewer, I already have the software to do that, so I don't need those features. And I definitely don't want to share it to my Facebook. And if I don't use that feature, it's kind of like buying a system and not using a crucial feature that comes with that system.
Like, I don't know, the Kinect?
Now, I use my Kinect.
What?
I do. I do, man. Look.
Playing Rise of Nightmares every day. Can't get enough. It's so good.
Everyone out there, y'all can hate on me, but, Sonic Freeriders, it's so good.
Zero gravity.
But seriously, I play Kinectimals with my daughter a lot. I play bowling. I play some sports games, Dance Central. Now, I'm not going to lie, it doesn't have a lot of games, and that is upsetting. It pisses me off. But the good games that it has are plenty enough to keep me entertained, and as long as my daughter's happy playing with a virtual tiger, I don't care.
Sure, I mean, I guess, but they haven't really announced the Kinect games at this point in time.
I know, and I'd rather not have the Kinect with the Xbox One, but whatever.
Well, I guess. I mean, I can see where you're coming from. I'm so not paying more for the sake of continuing on supporting Microsoft because I like the 360 a lot. Because Microsoft, I just think they're scumbags at this point, and I'm just done. I don't want to support them anymore. I like the PS2. I never had anything against the PS3 and Sony, so I'm quite happy to make the jump if I'm going to save some money.
I can't do the controller, man. I can't. I literally bought a device for my PS3 to change it over for a 360 controller.
Well, I hear the new one's better. Of course, it's the same controller, but I hear it's not as bad.
Well, that touchpad's probably going to do a lot for you.
Yeah.
I'm just...
That doesn't do anything now. Have you heard about that?
The touchpad?
Yeah, because all the features were with the PlayStation camera, which was going to come back, bundled with the PS4, like the Kinect, but they took it out to undercut Microsoft on price.
Yeah, good
job. So now all their features don't work with that screen.
Good job, Sony. Good job, great. Sony. Good job.
It's going to have the time on it, though, so...
Oh,
no more looking at your watch like an idiot.
Oh,
it's
man.
It's the future.
I press the middle button on my Xbox and a clock comes up.
When you're streaming your gameplay footage to NAC, you can check the time straight away. Don't worry about it.
Oh, I know, man. That's a big thing. I want to know the time. I want to know how long have I been throwing my life away on NAC today.
Oh, God. It's so depressing. The people who made Crash Bandicoot are now making... Or that guy behind it is now making NAC. And the people that made Spyro the Dragon is making Sunset Overdrive. Awesome.
I have nothing left to give.
I don't want to live on this planet anymore.
I don't live on this planet anymore.
Oh. Cool. Aliens. But anyway, let's move on.
Yep.
Let's look at games coming out. There's two. There's Project X Zone, which looks pretty decent. In case anyone doesn't know what it is, it's a 3DS game, but it's Sega, Capcom, and Namco Bandai banded together to make a tactical strategy game involving all their characters. And it's got pretty good reviews. It's a cool idea. I think on Amazon it's 23 quid here in the UK, so it's cheap as well. And of course it's not going to be one of the big 3DS summer games because it might be because there's not much coming out this summer for the 3DS, but if you're interested in that sort of thing, that sort of gameplay, then it looks really cool, and I probably won't check it out because I'm a bit broke, but it looks really cool.
Got pretty good reviews. apparently is considered a crossover tactical role-playing game for the Nintendo 3DS. I don't doubt that the 3D aspect will barely do anything for it, so that sucks. The stages of Project X Zone will take place on a grid-based location, much like other tactical games. You can move freely within a range of field with no penalty for accessing treasures and treasure chests, which is very nice because other tactical games penalize you for that, causing you to sacrifice your turn if you want to access that stuff. The battle system is called a crossover archive battle system, wherein pressing the A button and a combination of circle pad performs 5 basic attacks. In addition, you can use combos and gameplay elements, including support attacks, which allow the players to call nearby units for assistance, and cross hits, which freezes the target during a simultaneous attacks from multiple units.
Are you on Wikipedia?
No, not at all.
No, you memorised all that, didn't you?
I'm really good at what I do.
Yeah, messing around. You got bullet points for every game.
Yeah, I really do most of the time, but...
So, if you're interested in that genre, or just want to see something unique, if you want to see a game where Chris Redfield shoots at X, who shoots at Dante, then that's the way to go. It's definitely one.
Yes!
It's just a cool concept, and it's meant to play well.
Man.
So.
Hey man, Mega Man's in it too.
What, the original Mega Man?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
I know X and Zero are in it, but I didn't know the original one was in it too.
I'm pretty sure the original one is also.
That guy, Mega Man sold out. First Super Smash Brothers. Like, how is in this? He's everywhere. He went from being, like, disappeared to now he's all over the place.
That he did.
I mean, I'm happy, but he hasn't really made a game in a while. That's what we want to say.
Hey, Mega Man Legends 3, fingers crossed. Oh, wait, that's never fucking coming out because they let the guy go. Good job, Tom. Good frickin' job.
Well, you got Remember Me. So
Oh, yeah.
That's their big game of this year.
Oh, there's also Vile from Mega Man X.
Oh, cool.
I don't know, man. I really enjoy Mega Man. Having Vile as a character is really cool. So
it's a cool idea. But there's also another game which I hadn't heard of until I looked up to see what games were coming out. And
what is it?
It's Dark. It's this 360 game that's coming out. It's got this guy in a hoodie on it. I had never heard of this game. And that's really surprising. Like, I try to keep up with what games are coming out. I just never heard of this game until today. And I just really don't know what to make of it. It's weird to see a 360 game get released nowadays that isn't a AAA title. Because let's admit it, everyone at this point is at least trying to be. Or else you would just make it an arcade game.
Dark's made by Calypso.
What did they make?
Several games. Can't remember them off the top of my head, but I do know they made this game. So
well, I just don't know if this game's any good. It just exists, and
you know
it's
what's
just
about?
They say it's okay. It's gotten 8s out of 10s mostly.
It's just very odd, very bizarre for a game to be like this.
Should I tell them what it is?
Brief summary, sure.
Dark is a stealth action genre with RPG-esque elements where you are the ultimate killer, a vampire, and that's seriously emphasized with an exclamation point like, oh shit. Stalk your enemies from the shadows and use powerful vampire abilities to attack your enemies and stealthily dispatch them. There's a thrilling story of Dark immerses you in a world full of blood and darkness in which the hunter can become the hunted at any time. As you unravel the mystery behind become... Actually, I remember this! In the beginning of the game, you basically hook up with a vampire chick and then she ends up biting you. And so you become a vampire, and you're like, oh shit, I don't want to be a vampire. But then you start sneaking around the city, and they're trying to hunt these vampires, and you're like, you know what, fuck this, I want to become a vampire, and I'm just going to slaughter everyone to find out why this bitch made me a vampire.
So it's a mix between The Darkness and Vampire Reign.
I don't ever say that game.
They're both horrendous games. I hate them both.
Vampire Reign is so bad!
It's so good!
So bad.
It's good though.
No.
No.
No, it's not.
Well,
I liked it.
Just make like
you did not like it. Don't.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's the worst 360 game.
it is terrible.
Like, it's easy, comfortably the worst 360
Yeah,
game.
it probably is. I wouldn't doubt
And the
it.
same people that made it made Yoshi's Island DS. It's a bit
Well, see,
trivial.
now I want to play it. I need to watch a video of this. Just how it is the worst game, you say?
It's like a PS2 game, but
I don't know,
an
man.
early to it.
Raven Squad, Spider-Man 3.
I like those games more. Wonderful titles.
Sonic 06.
A gem compared to Vampire Rain.
Really?
I've owned all those games, and
Okay.
Vampire Rain was worse.
Give it to you, Tom. All right.
I actually have them on my
Deadliest
shelf.
Catch.
Well, I don't know about that.
That's a real game for 360, man.
But so Dark. If you know anything about it, then it's obviously going to bomb because it hasn't been anywhere. But you know,
Yeah, it has not been hyped at all.
and
so-
vampires are lame at this point, so it's going to do terribly, and that'll be the end of that. This is probably the most coverage this game has got on this podcast. On the
We are
whole
doing
internet.
it a favour here.
Yeah, they did actually slip me, a bit of money before this, so that's why I brought it up. And then massively insulted it.
You're not doing a great job there.
No, I should give some of their money back, but whatever, I don't care. So,
That'd be great if they contacted you after this and were like, you know what? Because you covered us, we're sending you 100 copies of Dark. Do whatever you want with them.
oh god. I'll
Just hand them out to people, please.
please, it's not as bad as Vampire Rain. Allegedly.
Making a game worse than that is a challenge.
Oh.
I mean, I know they exist, but with current gen technology, and not an indie game. See, the problem with that is everyone says there's worse games out there, but this has to be a full-on release that is $60, like Vampire Rain was. You can't just be like, well, this game on Atari was worse. Yeah, it was probably worse because it's frickin' 8-bit and they have no memory and no abilities to do anything but press one button and move. So, Vampire Rain is the same game that came out on the same console that published Halo Reach, Halo 3, and a multitude of 360 games that changed the world of gaming, including Batman Arkham City, Skyrim, and games like Grand Theft Auto, Battlefield 3, Mafia, Max Payne. I mean, I can keep naming off top-tier games. And this system also produced a game known as Vampire Rain. It's consistently one of the worst games in existence. So how...
I think it
top-
might have been an exclusive, though. That's one. That could be a sequel to Vampire Rain. Could be one of the exclusives.
I want to see the cover art, because if it really touts that it's an exclusive, I'm going to
I'm
laugh.
not too sure. I haven't seen it on PS3, but it might have come out on it.
I need to see this. I can't even find the cover art, really. Oh, hang on, I got it. It doesn't say it's an exclusive,
Damn it.
but it might be. Anyways.
I would assume so. Why not? It doesn't
Assume the
matter.
worst.
Yeah, because it is the worst.
They ripped off Solid Snake in that game too, right?
Why is it?
John Lloyd is the exact same character model as Solid Snake, right?
Oh, that's pretty interesting.
I'm not kidding. I'm not joking.
He's
here.
vamp in it as well. It's like a boss.
Yeah. And also, they kind of ripped off that one game where it's a Tom Clancy one where he has the night vision goggles on his head.
Splinter Cell.
Yes. Sorry, it's not Tom Clancy. But they also ripped that off.
Well, let's move on because I don't want to talk about this terrible game anymore. I want to move on
Okay.
with my life. Oh, what if we should all just move on with our lives?
Why not?
So the topic of this week is kind of a vague topic, but I want to talk about the James Bond games because the other topics have been a bit broad and all that, which is fine, but we haven't talked about a specific series. The James Bond games are in a weird hiatus at the moment. Activision hasn't announced anything. You would have thought they would have announced something at E3. There's nothing in the works, it seems like. And they still, I'm not too sure how long their contract goes on for, but pretty much they're the ones making the decisions and own the license, and probably will be for another few years. So, I mean, the question is, they should definitely make a new one, as fans of that series, but what should they do for the next Bond game? Like, how can they bring the franchise back?
Well, let's start with throwing every element out the window and selecting one. My choice would be over-the-top action with comedic relief at every turn. Okay?
Well, they haven't really done that before, though.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh.
Like, screw the stealth. Screw the you have to do these special missions where you collect stuff. No. Okay? Let's just take, for example, GoldenEye. Okay? And they could do 007 Legends right and just take every movie boss scene from every popular James Bond movie and make it into one level and combine them together. And that's it.
Well, you say no stealth, but GoldenEye and its remake was all stealth. And I would say GoldenEye is the best one, and the remake was, this generation, the best James Bond game. Now, I know they can't really do it or they would have to find someone new because Eurocon went out of business, so they were the main people who made the James Bond games. They made Nightfire, the GoldenEye remake, 007 Legends, the PS2 of Quantum Solace. They didn't make Bloodstone, but whatever. But yeah, they were the main guys, so they would have to find a company to do the stealth, but the only reason why I say they shouldn't do the stealth is because what company, what game developer out there could actually do stealth in the way that James Bond does stealth, rather than, say, the way Splinter Cell or Metal Gear does stealth? Because that's what a stealth game is now, those sort of games.
Well, do they want to follow the Bond you see in the films? Because you don't really see James Bond do that much stealth.
It's more like, I don't know, I guess you would describe it as spy work, I guess, but because
like piecing things together to work out what to do or who to get or something like that, do you mean?
Well, that's what Quantum of Solace tries to do, right? Like, be like the new James Bond films, where there was some spy work, you did some moseying around, but it was more like you go in an office, you touch a piece of paper and that's it, then it was more action. And I mean, look how that game kind of turned out. So I would like to see the stealth return, but yeah, no one can really do it. But then I don't know who would make the action game. Like, what developer out there could also do the action game? Because if Treyarch couldn't do it, then, I mean, who could?
I don't know, but I'll tell you this. If I can play a James Bond game where he's riding a motorcycle handcuffed to a Chinese reporter and shoot down a helicopter, I would be very happy. Tomorrow Never Dies.
Yeah, I was going to say.
For your reference.
Which, ironically, is one of the worst James Bond games out there.
Worst.
You would say worst?
James Bond. Probably, yes.
It was really abysmal.
It's really bad. It's really bad.
It's so bad. It's just, yeah, so that's what I... Because the thing is with the action stuff, like, if you play Modern Warfare 2, there was actually a lot of elements in Modern Warfare 2 that felt like a James Bond game. Or it could be, if you took out the whole, being a different soldier in each thing and telling that, if you took out that element of it and just had it be James Bond, then you could rework, like, have Call of Duty be like James Bond, which of course 007's tried to do and failed miserably, but, you could do it, as long as you kept the humour and charm of James Bond alongside the solid, tight Call of Duty gameplay and variety.
Was there any humour in any of the newer Bond films, Bond games?
It's a good question.
They were just trying. They were probably just trying to copy the Daniel Craig films, weren't they? Which are more gritty and less. I mean, they still have funny parts, but.
Well, yeah, but Skyfall was the only one who tried to, balance it out with some humour.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the problem, man. Every time in Pierce Brosnan movies especially, they are just... He has something hilarious to say. Like when he's in GoldenEye, in the end of the movie, okay, he punches Trevelyan off the bottom of the radio signal tower, but he grabs him. And why would he grab him? Because he's got to say one more thing. And he looks up and he says, "For England, James?" And he says, "No, for me." Come on, man. Why didn't he just let him fall to his death? He was going to let him go anyways.
Well, it was an awesome line. I loved it.
He had
so
to.
good.
It's kind of like rubbing salt in the wound. Like, I know you're gonna die, but really, it's just for me, not even for the country. So,
well, I can't think of any lines that Daniel Craig has said that's kind of in that sort of vein.
Oh, he did say something.
But they're always weak. Like, there was one in Skyfall when the Komodo dragon ate that guy.
Yeah.
But it was just kind of terrible.
That dragon was really bad CGI as well.
Dragon
What?
was.
No, that they actually got a Komodo dragon in.
Dragon was nasty looking.
That's what my mum said. I was like, look at that Komodo dragon.
They got a real scorpion as well.
Yeah.
There was one when
M looked really real in that film as well. It was great. Great CGI on her.
Oh my god. it was when he first started the movies and he eliminated the guy, the first agent, and he was sitting there talking, and then when the guy went to reach for his gun and shoot him a couple times and he was out of bullets, he said something to him right when he shot him.
It's like, aha, I'm going to murder you now.
I can't remember what it was, but it was
something like the second kill was harder or something. No,
Not
second kill was
really,
easier,
yeah.
and then he goes, considerably, and then goes back.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, there you go.
That was a great opening.
See, he said a line, man, that was just like, he didn't need to. He could have just shot him dead and walked away, but no, he said something. So that's the James Bond, man.
But yeah, there was none in 007 Legends, and there was also none in the GoldenEye remake, which was disappointing as well.
Like, in GoldenEye, going back again to GoldenEye, there's tons of them, World Is Not Enough, and Tomorrow Never Dies. But in GoldenEye, when he's entering the facility and he's hanging there, and the Russian guy moves his newspaper, and he says, "Pardon me, I forgot to knock," and just knocks him out. Because he's in the bathroom with them.
Well, that's why I really like the Pierce Brosnan films anyway. It's like they had that mix. Like, they seemed to have got it just right. With the action, with the humour, with the spy work. It all kind of came together. Even if every film wasn't amazing, that's why GoldenEye is like one of my personal favourite James Bond films. Because they got everything right. And yet, of
Pierce
course...
Brosnan could have been he was a good Bond, but he could have been an amazing Bond if he was in better films.
Well, if they got him at the same time that they got Timothy Dalton... I think Pierce Brosnan, wasn't he up for the running when Timothy Dalton was?
But he had to do Remington Steele or something.
Oh, okay, good choice. Good.
Yeah.
So if he did it then that could have
Did you know the guy who played Alec Trevelyan actually turned down James Bond?
What, Sean Bean?
Yeah.
Oh.
He turned it down.
That would have been interesting.
That's why he was the villain in GoldenEye.
Instead he just went and got killed in every single film and TV shows in.
Yeah, basically.
Apart from the new Silent Hill film, where specifically in the game the character dies, but in the film they changed it so he lives, and it was Sean Bean. So I was happy for him then, but I don't know. I don't think Sean Bean would have had the charisma to be James Bond. I don't
either, man. He's a really nasty villain, that's for sure.
But no, so with a new James Bond game, it's also... they should try and do a new story. They should try and do another Bloodstone.
Really?
Well, they shouldn't hand it to a racing developer. They should hand it to an action developer.
The person who wrote that has like written James Bond books and everything, and I think he helped with the script and film. So why did he fail that bad with that game?
Yeah, the story made no sense. He must have been, because Casino Royale ended on that sort of cliffhanger.
Guys, you're forgetting one thing, man.
Oh.
With a video game, you control the outcome. It's not like a book or a movie. You control the outcome. So the problem therein lies, if you have a mediocre game and an all-over-the-place story that you're trying to compress into an 8-hour game, it's going to be very difficult to do because you're controlling the story itself. Unlike a book where you can read, James Bond moved to grab the coffee cup, he threw hot coffee in the agent's face.
I love that book.
Yeah, but instead, in the game, you just shot the guy instead of grabbing the hot coffee mug and throwing coffee in the face. So you missed that part.
But it was the other way around, though. The story wasn't too compressed. It just went nowhere for most of it, and then there was a stupid, unnecessary twist that didn't make any sense at the end.
Well, I don't know about all that, but yeah.
You should play it. It's not good.
I did play it, man. I didn't pay attention to the story, but
there was not much to pay attention to. But no, I like that ambition to create it by itself, because they did a great job with Everything or Nothing. You know, they hit quite a few cliches in that game, but that's what you kind of want. I'd rather them hit the James Bond cliches than, say, try and just make it different and have it fail and just not have the same personality and have average gameplay in it. So I want the over-the-topness that Everything or Nothing had. But because the Bloodstone didn't have that, and the Daniel Craig films don't have that, but I think in a video game it's crucial that they have that, because they can't do character development as well. You can't get Sam Raimi to direct some really great scenes, so you kind of have to have the over-the-top fighting that guy in space at like the end of Nightfire.
That's why we need a Roger Moore James Bond. We could have Moonraker. That's over the top. That's laser battles in space. There you go.
Well, we had Moonraker. Did you play 007 Legends?
No, he didn't.
Oh, actually, yeah, that's true.
That was one of the segments.
Was it good?
No, it was not.
It wasn't the worst, but it wasn't good.
What was actually the laser battle bit?
Oh, it was. You just had a laser gun as you walked around.
Yeah.
But it was like a normal machine gun. It just shot lasers.
Wait, was Jaws' girlfriend in there as well?
Jaws was in it, but I don't think the girlfriend was.
Oh, that's sad.
I didn't like the girlfriend though. She was annoying.
Yeah, it was a bit weird.
Because I like that film, but the worst part about it is all that weird humour that's in it.
I want to see more Max Zorin and blowing up California for microchips. I want to see more of that.
Definitely, but I don't know.
I gotta tell you, I want to do one more James Bond film.
Is that your Christopher Walken?
I have to.
It's great.
I gotta be one more villain.
No, it's perfect. You don't sound Italian or anything like that. Vaguely Italian.
I hate you so much.
I'm not even going to try. I'm just going to insult. That's what I'm good at. That's my skill. So, but yeah, so could they do something similar to From Russia with Love? Like, instead of trying to bring a new story that people might not get into, just take one of the older films and, next-gen graphics, have it more action-y and have all that kind of mix with, like, with the Thunderball stuff and things like that, and then bring people back in that way.
I want to fight a Komodo dragon also.
No, you don't want to fight a Komodo dragon. They'll probably look more real.
Saying about A View to a Kill, that would work quite well, because Roger Moore said that he didn't really like that film because there's too much shooting for James Bond. He thought it shouldn't shoot that much. But that works great for a game. Shoot everyone.
It would make sense.
Exactly.
Yeah. And
you get to have sex with Mayday.
Exactly.
Sure.
I was about to say. Oh, yeah.
So hot.
But no, because the only bad thing is that the last game we got was 007 Legends that tried to reinvent the older games. And that's not why it was bad. It was a great idea. But of course, with Activision behind the wheel, I don't think they're going to fund a remake or a game of an older film.
I don't either.
They might take the Fox engine and make another GoldenEye remake. I don't know. That's what everyone's doing nowadays. But no, because that's it. Activision. The only thing that they could really rely on was a dead cert of a success was a GoldenEye remake, and they already did it. So now they have to either do something completely new or try and bring it back to its roots, or the franchise really is dead.
I don't know, man. A couple bad games won't murder a franchise, but I'm not one to speak. I mean, after Metroid the Other M, there has been another Metroid game, so just saying.
But I don't know. I just want to see it continue, but I want to see I don't know if it's going to happen.
Here's the thing: would you want it to focus on one particular aspect, or would you want? Because in James Bond games, you always get the driving section, which is usually really bad. Then you have the shooting, and then you have a bit of stealth.
I want a new next-gen version of Nightfire, or have the same tone Nightfire did, where you had the stealth core sections, like sneaking into that castle. You had the story that had the similar elements of a James Bond thing. It was a bit silly and over the top with the villains, but it still had all the right elements in there. because it was a Pierce Brosnan, so again, it was a good mix. But then you also have all the different gameplay stuff. I want to see the variety. It's something I really like with the James Bond games. And I like, it's something I was really disappointed by with Quantum of Solace because they just kind of gave up.
I wish Bethesda Studios would develop it.
What?
Because listen, just hear me out, okay? Because with Skyrim and Dishonored, every time you go about any type of mission, you have the ability to choose whether or not you want to go in full force, guns blazing, or sneak around stealthily, or use a different tactic altogether. So I think that would work very well for the James Bond films, because, you can pull out your silenced PPK, shoot the guard, grab his AK, and just start spraying the enemies, walk in, take the documents, and leave. Or you could sneak around, get the documents, or you could go up to the upper level, bribe a guard, and drop a crate on the rest of the people and take the documents and leave. Something like that.
So are you thinking more Hitman, but a James Bond version of Hitman?
Yeah, with more humor and less of the, hey, there's 100,000 guards here.
Because but then that, that won't be a big action game, and also stealth games aren't that popular. So, in terms of what they probably will do, we're not going to get anything like that, but I would like to see the stealth return. Because if you think about it, GoldenEye, the original, did so much for first-person shooters, established so much, established as a proper genre. Well, Doom did that, of course, but as a console kind of game. But not many first-person shooters followed it, because first-person shooters aren't slow-paced in the same way GoldenEye was. And that's what kind of made it unique. You were slow-paced, and it was you took your time.
Yeah.
But first-person shooters don't do that anymore. Like, I can't think of any that actually have that sort of slow-paced gameplay in that sort of way. It's all just fast-paced. It's Halo, it's Call of Duty, it's, you're getting it done. If it's stealth, it's kind of really forced. That's why the GoldenEye remake did a good job of keeping that stealth element, but that's it. That's all we got.
Well, I don't want to get off subject, but Doom 4 is coming out, and with Doom 3, it was a very slow-paced first-person shooter. You're always scared to go around the corners with that game. I thought it was, man.
Well, there was there was some, but ironically, it was all like PC gaming, like System Shock 2, things like that.
Yes.
All the console gaming just leapt onto Halo as soon as that showed up, and went to World War II shooters for some reason, and then just went to modern setting, and now here we are. James Bond's dead, and that's it. And there's been no real sequel, apart from, I guess, The World Is Not Enough, but it's not enough.
The world is not enough. Family motto? Personal... Man, I can't even remember that, man. Yeah,
I think James Bond goes, you could have had the world, and then she's like, tomorrow never dies.
She says, I would have given you the world, and he says, the world is not enough. And she says something like, a personal mantra or something, and he's like, family motto. Yeah. But that's when he was being tortured pretty severely.
Sure. There's another way, but no, so yeah, I think we pretty much hit it. I think it would be nice to see an original story, but you would have to remake an old film into a game. You either have to go all in at this point. I would love to see the variety of the old James Bond, but it seems like you have to go all in with the action, or you have to go all in with the stealth. And some games have done that in the recent years, and James Bond and all that, but the main problem is that they just weren't well made, and we just need a company that's going to take its time to make an actual good James Bond game and not rush it out for Christmas.
Yeah, that's true.
Hopefully now that the Bond films are back up and running, because they always had that little shaky period, might happen now.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Whatever that we
Films are
might, with the fourth Daniel Craig film, that's our biggest chance of seeing it, because Activision, they love their licenses, so it's like, right, we can make a game with this game. They did it with Quantum of Solace as well, as soon as they could, and then they put Skyfall in 007 Legends, so I think that's our biggest chance of seeing a new James Bond game. It's just, of course, when a game is based over a film, like 007 Legends and Quantum of Solace, for the most part, is terrible. But still, it should be good. It just really depends on who they give it to and, when the new film comes out.
Alrighty.
Right, so yeah, I think that settled it, unless there's any more final thoughts on the James Bond games.
Oh,
Roger Moore.
Roger Moore. Sure. Oh, so you're not one of these Roger Moore haters.
Oh, I love the guy.
he's an alright guy, man.
You met him? You good friends with him?
I like I like to have a couple brewskis with him every now and then.
I'm very jealous.
But yeah, so
Don't be.
he's old.
He's going to die
So-
soon, sadly.
Keeps
Probably.
talking about Christopher Walken all the time. Shut up,
In his
Roger.
dreams. Well, keeping it topical, who's going to go first? Nelson Mandela or Roger Moore? That's the question of the podcast. Leave your comments below and give it 20 likes, and then there'll be another question.
This is taking a depressing turn.
Join the bro army today.
Absolutely. It's a good army.
Yeah, we're not doing
The
that.
Brit Brigade. That's what I call mine.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, God.
It's good. Well, that's all I've done so far. I mean, all you have to... It's just like my Facebook page, and I don't have one. Shoot.
I have one.
Nice.
It's fake. It's fake.
Oh,
I troll a bunch of people on it.
that's not... well, that is what people use the internet for, but
Yep.
I can't condone it. So
I don't feel bad whatsoever.
let's end the podcast before Proto revealed something that he probably shouldn't. That is done online. So, yeah, as always, thank you for joining me, Mr. McLuckable.
No problem.
And thanks for starring as a guest, ProtoMario.
Oh, I'm always around.
So, yeah, so that's it for this episode. And any final thoughts before we go?
No.
No, just empty. We ran out.
Nope.
Alright then, let's end it off. See you guys next week.
Okay, thanks,
Bye-bye.
bye.